What's up guys, welcome back. I've been getting a lot of requests for more breakfast and brunch recipes, so today I'm gonna show you one of my favorite things to order when I go out for brunch. This is my recipe for fish and grits. Today on the menu we have some perfectly fried catfish that I'm gonna pair with some delicious jalapeno cheese grits. But before we get into the recipe, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right guys, meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen. First things first, let's take a look at these ingredients. Here we have two beautiful, freshly caught catfish fillets. You can use whatever fish you like. Any white fish will work just fine for this recipe. If you don't like catfish, you can substitute it. I like to make my grits with a combination of chicken broth and milk. Trust me on this one, it makes your grits so much better. We've got some diced jalapenos, some chive for garnish, grits, shallot, some flour to make our roux. We're gonna be using bacon fat to make that roux, and the bacon's gonna be Garnish. If you're part of the pork patrol, you can leave the bacon out of this recipe, it'll still be delicious. And we have some Colby Jack cheese for our grits. All right, let's get this party started. In a skillet or a pot over medium heat, I'm going in with just a teaspoon of avocado oil. I'm gonna begin by sauteing my jalapenos and my shallot. I do this first because I wanna lock in that flavor and have that infuse itself into our grits as they're cooking. So we got 2 diced jalapenos in here and 1 shallot, teaspoon or 2 of avocado oil. We just wanna sweat that down. We will remove this before we go in with our grits, but that flavor is gonna stay in the pot. All right, the next guest to arrive to the flavor party is a teaspoon of chunky garlic paste. We're gonna mix that in. Once the onions and shallots are nice and tender, we're gonna remove it. I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. Just a sprinkle, no need to get crazy. We're gonna add plenty of seasoning here in just a second. And then guys, just take a slotted spoon like this, and we're gonna remove the shallot, the garlic, the jalapenos, leaving behind all of that flavor at the bottom of our pot. If you can't get it all out, no big deal. All right, so we're making 4 servings of grits for this. So we got 1 cup of grits, and you need 4 parts of liquid. I like to do 2 cups of whole milk, 2 cups of chicken broth. We're gonna turn that to medium-high heat, bring that up to a boil, and then we'll add in our grits. Always wanna add a little pinch of salt as well when you're cooking grits. And to amplify the flavor a little bit more, I'm going in with just a pinch of chicken bouillon powder. That's gonna elevate that chicken broth flavor and really flavor these grits. All right, so once your milk and chicken broth come to a boil, we're gonna mix in 1 cup of grits. You can cook your grits per package instructions. Usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes depending on what brand you're going with. We're just gonna mix that in, bring it up to a boil, then turn it to low and cover it with a lid and let that roll for about 7 minutes. All right, so after about 7 minutes, our grits are perfectly cooked. I'm going in with a tablespoon or 2 of butter. Give that a mix, allow that to melt. And we're also gonna mix in our jalapeno with the garlic and the shallot. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Whisk that in. That's really the benefit of cooking the grits with the chicken bouillon powder from the beginning, because they begin to get seasoned right from the jump. All right, so at this point I've turned the heat off. I'm gonna allow the residual heat from the grits to melt this cheese. You wanna add your cheese a little bit at a time, stirring constantly. The grits are so hot that cheese will melt beautifully. Whenever you're ready to reheat this and serve it, you just hit it with a little bit of milk or a little chicken broth, thin it back out if you need to. And these are gonna be absolutely money. Let me know in the comments what your favorite version of shrimp and grits or fish and grits is. Personally, I like fish and grits over shrimp and grits. Now I'm just gonna hit it with just a little bit of seasoning. It doesn't need much, just a little AP. And those grits, my friends, are absolutely perfect. Look at that. Nice and cheesy. A little bit of heat from the jalapeno, but all the cream in there is gonna calm that heat down for the perfect bite. All right, so we're gonna use the bacon for garnish. We're also gonna steal that bacon fat to make a fantastic roux for our sauce that we're gonna top this plate with. Cook the bacon until it's nice and crispy to your liking, and then we're gonna remove that bacon and get started on the roux. All right, so I drained all but about a tablespoon or two of that bacon fat. Then I'm gonna go in with a tablespoon or so of avocado oil. That's gonna calm down the heat in there a little bit to make sure that nothing burns when we add the rest of our ingredients. So I'm going in with 1 diced shallot. We just wanna saute that. We're also gonna add a little bit of garlic and some lobster base. That's really gonna kick the flavor up. It does have a lot of salt in it though, guys, so just a little bit, like a half teaspoon is all you're gonna need. So we got our shallot going. Coming in with the garlic. Just a pinch of that lobster base. It's gonna kick up the seafood flavor. Adds a lot of depth to the flavor profile overall. And then we're gonna come in with our all-purpose flour. All right, next I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And that is gonna make our roux, my friends. Fat and flour is the name of the game. Stir it so it doesn't burn. Make sure heat's not too high also. You get a nice gravy-like consistency basically. And then we're gonna add a little bit of chicken broth and a little bit of heavy cream. Seasoned to taste, and you got yourself a delicious sauce to pair with your fish and grits today. Now, the longer you cook this, the darker your roux will get, and ultimately the darker your sauce will be. So it's totally up to you. I like mine a nice caramel complexion. That way it's not the exact same color as the fried fish. Gives a little color contrast on the plate. All right, so at this point I'm gonna go in with my chicken broth. Remember guys, all the specific measurements and ingredients are in the caption or description box below. About a cup of chicken broth, you wanna mix that in. Bring that up to a boil. It'll thicken up pretty quickly, and then we'll hit it with the heavy cream and be good to go. All right, so after a few minutes of simmering, we turn the heat to low. This is the consistency that I'm looking for. That's the color that I'm looking for as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the heat. Right before you serve it, you may wanna hit it with just a little bit of chicken broth to thin it back out. You know, but play around with it. If you need more broth, you could always add it. But that's what you're looking for right there. At the very end, just make sure you season to taste, a little AP, a little salt and pepper, something like that. And that's what you wanna see right there. Good consistency, lots of flavor. All right, now for the fun part, it's time to get to frying. Here in one bowl, I have 3 eggs with a 1/4 cup of whole milk. In this bowl, I'm gonna add my yellow cornmeal and my all-purpose flour. To the eggs, I just like to add a teaspoon or so of hot sauce, because why the hell not? Totally up to you. And then here we're going in with 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of yellow cornmeal. You can use your own fish fry blend that you like from the store or whatever you got at home that you make. Whatever you like on fish is a-okay, but this is how I like to do mine. So there's the all-purpose flour. Here comes the cornmeal. And then we're gonna season it up. We're gonna keep it real simple today. Little Old Bay, little AP. There we go. Let's get in there and give that a mix. Make sure everything is evenly distributed. We're gonna season our fish lightly. get this breaded and drop it in some oil. And of course, we gotta hit our fish with a little seasoning. I'm going down with my AP seasoning or a blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. You use a little Tony's or just Old Bay, whatever you want. My AP is low sodium, so that's why I tend to reach for that, because I don't overpower anything with too much salt. These are 2 fillets here, but you can get catfish really cheap, guys, so you can feed a small army with this recipe. This recipe really has about 4 to 5 servings, but you could easily double it and feed 8 to 10, no problem. All right, super simple now, guys. We're gonna take that seasoned fish into that egg wash. Make sure that it's well coated in the egg wash, then knock off any excess. And we're going right into that seasoned flour and cornmeal mixture. Get in there with your hands, make sure there's no bald spots. We wanna make sure that this fish is adequately covered in that crispy and delicious breading. There we go. Make a couple passes and then knock off any excess flour. And then right onto a baking sheet as it awaits the hot tub. All right, so we've got my baby, the cast iron skillet right here, loaded with some oil, looking for 350 degrees. The best way to know if your oil is up to temperature is with a digital food thermometer. And if you don't own one, then I know a guy that sells one. So check it out, link is in the description box. All right, so we want it to be anywhere from 350 to 375. Lay your fish in there gently. Really doesn't take long to fry up. Maybe 3 to 4 minutes or so. You want the fish to be about 140 degrees internal temperature. All right, so you're looking at a total cook time of about 4 to 5 minutes. Once the fish reaches 145 degrees internal temperature, it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. Nice, beautiful golden brown color. Another couple minutes on that side and we'll be ready to plate this up. All right, now it's time to plate this up. As you can see, we've got some delicious cheesy jalapeno grits here. I'm gonna go down with a nice mound of that right in the middle. Don't be shy with this. And then you can kind of smooth it out just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but you want some symmetry just for plating and visual. We got our grits plated. Now we're going down with a perfectly fried piece of catfish. Then we got that sauce that we made. I'm gonna go around the plate with the sauce. And then last but not least, we're gonna garnish this up with just a little bit of bacon, because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. And then some diced chive for a pop of color. Right there in the middle. And that, my friends, is a beautiful plate of fish and grits. And this is the part where I say, brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is get in here for a taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. And finally, it's time for me to dig in for the taste test. I'm starving. A little fresh squeezed lemon juice for good measure. Got my fork. Let's get us a, oh, you can hear how crispy it is. Oh man. Perfect bite coming up. I wish you guys could try this.